Of a charity called Humanity First. It's an international organization registered in 62 countries, carrying out its projects in 6 continents. So I think Antarctica is the only one that's left. So maybe one day we'll get that as well. So that's where we are, and we're part of. We came for a special medical camp that is in its 6th year in Uganda. So last year was the 5th one. I had the honor and the privilege of being there. And it was just eye-opening. It was very humbling. It was very rewarding in a personal capacity. And ever since I've been telling everyone to come here, and especially other medical professionals and dental professionals. They've shown a lot of interest. So I sincerely hope that whatever little contribution we can make, that we're able to, and we're honored to be doing it.
Maybe also just take us briefly when we talk about this global charity organization, apart from saying it is in this number of countries, really what brings you people together? You know, what is this all about? Just in short but depth understanding for my viewer about Humanity First Global.
So Humanity First started in 1995, and the reason why it makes it so special is because its focus was not to just have projects that cost a lot but don't eventually help many people. So last time I checked, it's around, possibly around 7 to 10% is the admin cost maximum. Don't quote me on the figures, but larger organizations, larger charities, when I've done my research, their admin costs run to about 40-50%. They still do an amazing job. They have access to certain projects. This one particularly struck a chord with me because most of the money raised for the projects actually goes to the people who need it. And the other really interesting and beautiful thing about Humanity First is that it's even its management, is volunteers majority. So unless it's their full-time job, they are generally, it's not a job for them. It's more of a duty rather than anything else. As in a personal capacity, if you ask me, I'm a Muslim by faith. We are Ahmadi Muslims. And a lot of our workforce derives from them. So some of the projects, so for example, there's a program called, Food Security Program. That to me derives from the saying of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that the best charity is to feed an empty stomach. So that's the kind of thing I was able to witness one of their projects in the Gambia in West Africa. This one particularly is the medical side that I'm able to help out with, I have the honor of. So that's what brings us together. It's the uniformity of purpose, it's the shared objectives of helping the people regardless of faith, creed, color, religion, and also looking after the most vulnerable, the people who are forgotten, who left behind. We want them to be self-sufficient so that they're not relying on others. And that's why it's not just about doing short, sharp interventions. We come here, we do things, and we go back. That's not the point. So what I was able to help with the dental team was also the skills transfer. And also there's where we were based is right next to Budaka Health Center. There's a Humanity First Skills Center, which was a training institute. So it teaches women sewing, it teaches driving skills, so vocational training center, and there are many like that, over 30 I believe, one of which is here, and that's what brings us together.
Absolutely.
Yes, you wanted to supplement.
Absolutely. Just as Dr. Osama said, 99% of the money raised for Humanity First goes directly to the people that need it. In fact, myself, all other doctors, we've got 6 other doctors that have come with us today. Within the medical camp, we've had specialist care, cardiology, gynecology, rheumatology, and of course, obviously the dentistry. Every single one of us has paid our own fare tickets to come here, taken off annual leave. This is technically our holiday time, but we've done this because we care about the people, we care about humanity, and just like as Humanity First has said, serving humanity, it's exactly what the charity says. We would like to put the humanity first, and as some people in Uganda say that the biggest wealth is health, and so if we can just make even a small impact to the streets and to the roads of Uganda, that will have such an impactful, time within. So even, last year, it was, in fact, it's only been 4 months ago where UBC, did a small documentary on the help that Humanity First did in Kadira region, where we donated hospital beds, oxygen, wheelchairs, and these little things go so much, people that weren't able to do it, even in a medical camp. We've seen people that have had to walk 2 miles just for some water. And, they're coming to us with back pain, they're unable to walk with leg pain. It's because the nature of the work they have to carry out, within the Badaka region where we carried our healthcare. Humanity First is a charity that I absolutely love. Even they've got so many different ranges. So the disaster response team, when there was a Morocco earthquake, I managed to go there. And this is my first time in Uganda, and I'm happy. I'm happy that I've come to Uganda to, witness, all of the situation here, and being able to just, it's a little bit of my time, but I feel like it was definitely, worthwhile my trip to come to Uganda.
Now, your first time coming in Uganda, you've been to a number of countries where Humanity First extends their hand there. What has been your experience?
As soon as I came off the flight, the weather hit me. So the weather here is amazing. The tropical weather, that was amazing. Fruit, I love the fruit in Uganda. It's amazing. The pineapple, I've had the pineapple. But, one thing that's closer to my heart is seeing the situation of the healthcare at the moment. The same problems that are here, we're seeing the same problems within the UK. The workforce crisis, we're going out there, the population is so much, but the workforce that we're having, it's having a crisis. There's not enough people and not enough, medical professionals that are being able to work within the hospitals, the infrastructure. We're having the same issues in the UK, the same problems. There's, the infrastructure of having the different, the hospitals, the buildings, the laboratories. Even we've managed to, donate some equipment while we came with us today. It's a small, but we know it will go a long way. But one thing that's important is we can have healthcare, we can have as many people as possible. But what's really important is something to be able to give us guidance, similar to how in medical we have, in the UK we have the NICE guidance, we have WHO. It's very important that we follow those guidance. It's not just about providing healthcare here and healthcare there. It's about providing high quality healthcare, and that's something that Humanity First strives to do. Doesn't matter wherever we go. Not only do we need to provide medical care and dental care, we need to provide high quality medical and dental care. And that's something that, is so important and that we strive to do within the charity.
Now, Dr. Usman, Humanity First, I first learned of it after a medical camp. And I think by then it was Gift of Sight, where people had this cataract operation, and it was really very amazing. Someone who had lost sight, recovering their sight. And one question has always been on my mind, sustainability. We've had a number of people who come, donate to us, who come, carry out various operations, spinal bifida, these are lips,
Cleft.
yes, correct that. But thereafter,
Yes.
there isn't a structure of sustainability. So today you come, you work on 200 people in a particular location. Then when you come back again, you're working on 400.
Yep.
When you come the next year, you're working on 600.
Yep.
The next year, so it shows that the burden is just increasing.
Yep.
And we are all eager and praying, when will Humanity First people come?
Yes.
They were here last year. They said May now. How do you do things different, if at all you do, compared to the many other charity organizations?
I'm really glad you asked that question, and I'm pleased to report that that's not the case with Humanity First. So yes, while we try to make an impact while we're here, but that's sort of our flagship highlight for the year. But as I was discussing earlier, our project doesn't just span on those few days, and we don't just help those people. For example, I can give you for dental side, I literally didn't complete a single procedure myself on purpose. So I had a team of what are called PhDOs, or public health dental officers. We had a team of about 16. I got them to do it on purpose. So because I know I'm not going to be in Uganda for after a few days. So it is about skills transfer. That's where Humanity First differs. So it's not just a matter of come, do amazing work, nice pictures, get some publicity, and then basically the population. So sustainability, like you, that's the key word. So to make it sustainable, our focus is on skills transfer. Not just on doing the procedures, and then they have no one to follow up or no one to carry that baton forward. One of the projects was very good. You're very well versed on Humanity First projects, the gift of sight. So I'm very impressed. So I had the pleasure last year when I was here in May, next to Mbale in the small village of Budadiri. I was there. There were lines of patients for the gift of sight project specifically, and one of our flagship operations is with cataract operation, like you mentioned. So overall, under that project, basically, Humanity First has donated 3 mobile surgical units. They are already set up and working, and 39,696 people have been helped, and it's being run in about 13 countries. And I'm glad to report that one gift of sight van, mobile truck, has been designated and officially inaugurated for Uganda as well. It's not here yet, and I would request that with the support of the people of Uganda, most importantly, also the government officials, they've been very helpful, accommodating, and for Ministry of Health officials to work with us, facilitate its arrival in Uganda. We can't wait for it to get it here, and that would help with the sustainability. So yes, we will have, let's say, visiting clinicians, but all the funding that's raised for cataract operations, guess who we get to do it? It is the local surgeons. So it's amazing. It's about £50, one of the cheapest operation, because there is hardly any cost. Most of us are volunteers. 50 British pounds, and that allows us to give someone sight back. What a beautiful gift it is, and that's why it's called gift of sight. So that's the sustainability element. We don't just come, go, possibly different faces come next time. It is about local people helping, because our ethos is self-sufficiency, so they can support themselves, and that's how we differ.
Well, I love the fact that you've talked about sustainability, so that is not a one-off. So we know that if this is put to proper use, and I can't wait to have that mobile van in Uganda. I want also join the call to our government, our ministry, to see this is something donated to us. So how do we get it home? How do you ensure it serves the purpose it is intended to save, to restore sight to many Ugandans? It is a very expensive thing that ordinary Ugandan may not be able to pay for this operation. But if there is this opportunity, then why not push for the very best to have this start in Uganda? Now, what are some of the various programs that Humanity First, away from health, where we've talked about gift of sight, you talked about feeding the hungry, what are some of the other areas, Doctor?
Absolutely. So we have a numerous number of different programs. One of them, for example, being, as we mentioned, global health, where we talk about the health, the different aspects of that, the gift of sight. Another one is, for example, the Water for Life. So just within last year alone, we've managed to restore 50 different water wells and dig 20 water bores. Those are something so simple, such an essential need for everyone. Drinking water is such an prevalent, it's so important for everyone to have. Just having those simple water bores is something that we tend to want to do. People can sponsor, can donate money, and it can go towards such a simple. We've learned that people have to walk 2 miles. Having more water bores is going to reduce that time that they're walking, can allow them to actually benefit and do what they need and improve the healthcare. We've got a few other different types.
I'll add to that. So just while we're on Water for Life project, so It's about 3,622 water installations globally that Humanity First has done under this project. There have been about 4.5 million beneficiaries worldwide, and this project is running in 29 countries. The other project that we mentioned was Knowledge for Life. So Knowledge for Life, what it does is build schools. It styles or reinvigorates the existing classrooms. There are 33 training centers, one of which, as I mentioned, is in Budaka, where we stayed. So I had the privilege of seeing that. I visited the sewing school where women, even if they have children, some of them had their children with them. And there was a local tailor who was teaching them very beautiful skills. So it was really touching to see that it makes them skilled enough that they can, their families aren't going to bed hungry. And 287,995 students have been supported so far under this program. And other than that, there is the food security program, as I mentioned, which ensures that people who, let's say, just need enough food to survive. So there are, under this program, there are 15 food banks. Overall, certainly in the Gambia and West Africa, what I saw was a family a lady whose husband had passed away. They had their children, but unfortunately couldn't feed themselves. So Humanity First got them a patch of land where they grew just enough wheat to feed themselves, and whatever was excess they sold in the local market. The children were able to go to school, so they weren't having to work. That's something I've seen that in unfortunate situations people are pushed to. So that's the kind of beautiful thing. Humanity First doesn't want anything from it. You look after your family as long as you're able to survive, give them a good upbringing, and that's what we care about. And under that food security program, there have been about 2.6 million people that have been helped. And that project is running in 58 countries. And this is the sort of brief summary of, other than the projects we've already talked about, that Humanity First is involved in.
Yeah, and I can tell you a bit more about the Humanity First projects within Uganda itself. So in, for example, Western Uganda, we managed to help in a refugee camp. So there was dental camps that were done within a refugee camp. The work is also orphan care. So 135 orphans within Uganda have benefited from the work that Humanity First has carried out specifically. Vocational learning, I've managed to visit the Humanity First vocational center in Budaka. There's a driving school within that center. People, learning to drive, then they'll be able to, get those skills, be able to work, be able to, do different skills. It's not about giving them money. It's not about giving, it's about empowering the youth of Uganda, empowering them to realize that you can, with the skill set that you have, you can do whatever you want, wherever your mind's at, and really, allow them to progress. So 135 orphans were benefited just last year alone. So the range of work is numerous, and we're only going to grow. Our work doesn't just happen in 3 days medical camp. After that, we wanted to go to schools. We went to schools, in fact. We did some talks. Dr. Osama Saab can, let us know more about the dental talks that he's been doing within the schools. Because before these diseases, one way to help reduce the diseases is prevention. So that's one thing that we're really, tackling, trying to prevent these diseases in the first place. And Dr. Osama Saab can talk a bit about what he's been doing in the schools.
Yes. So certainly under the global health banner, we were able to hold this 6th medical camp. The second time the dental camp was part of it. And you again talked about sustainability, so I'll come to that because it's also my favorite word. The lead of that camp, other than myself, was actually a local PhD who works for Humanity First, Dr. Hamidu Chibugu, and he was able to organize this team. And other than this one camp that happened this year, they actually run 1 or 2 other outreach programs in the really rural areas where they don't have any access. One of the most common things, certainly I can reflect on, that when we saw patients, unfortunately the number one reason was they just could not afford the treatment. So we feel that access to treatment, whether it's pain relief, and should not be a privilege. It should be a right, or it should be at least affordable enough that it is within everyone's reach. So we had, for example, a really young girl that just comes to my mind. She had an infection for God knows how long. That child might be missing school. They are in pain the whole time, and partly it was also because of awareness. So on the awareness front, every time they were sitting outside, they were being given oral health education talks. So we had our dental models. We then trained local staff to then deliver those talks. I had a training session with them, because dental disease, what's unique about it is there's hardly any genetic element. It is a lifestyle disease. So for example, if people look after it, their teeth, they brush twice. So with your permission, I will also like to tell the whole of Uganda what to do about brief tips. So brushing should be done twice a day with a fluoride toothpaste. So generally you can use adult toothpaste as well for children. Just use a pea-sized amount of toothpaste. You don't need a lot. Make sure after you've brushed, you spit all the toothpaste out, and you don't rinse your mouth. It's a common habit to do that, because you want that fluoride, the good stuff in the toothpaste, to stay on your teeth. But even if you brush, it still can't clean between the teeth. So that's where the flossing comes in. So it's the thread that commonly people use. So it gets things out between your teeth. So it's kind of food acts as the fuel for bacteria as well that are in the mouth, as well as diet-wise. So reduce your snacking. So it doesn't matter, so much the quantity. So if you have your 3 meals, that's okay. But if you're having, a bit of chocolate, a bit of fruit, but it's between the meals, it's every time you have something, it's like a sugar attack on your teeth. So minimize the snacking. Smoking can contribute to things like oral cancer, especially combined with alcohol, and it can also contribute to gum disease, which can lead to loosening of teeth. So these are the general oral health messages. So thank you for allowing me to say that. And this is the kind of information that we were giving, not just to the people who were at the dental camps. We trained these local staff, and some of them were students, and they were so enthusiastic. They were actually trying to find crowds, people who were sitting in the rheumatology clinic and nephrology clinic. They were just going, finding people, and they were listening so attentively that I was really humbled, because the amount of interest that they had in looking after themselves was astonishing. So we were really felt like, we were valued, we were appreciated for being here. And the amount of people who thanked us everywhere, I had no connection with them, just walking past, it was that sense of gratitude, the expressions on their face. That's what makes it worthwhile for me, and I know that I will be coming back. This is already my 2nd time within 9 months, so that's how much I've sort of fallen in love with Uganda, and it's generally a privilege. So this is how we go about things.
Now, what next after the camp?
Sorry.
What next after the camp?
Absolutely. So we've done the camps, and the camps that don't stop there. We're already planning our next camp, for next year. We want to empower people. We want to do different skills. Humanity First doesn't just stop there with the medical camps. In fact, the actual medical camp, you wouldn't believe it. So I've learned that one consultation is about 10,000 usually. People can't afford it. People are not going and not seeking medical help because they can't afford it. The camps that we do, right from the consultation to the investigations to giving them drugs, is absolutely free, and that is due to the help of Humanity First and its donors. So we urge, we thank the donors, everyone out there that help donate to Humanity First. But there's one thing, if you allow me to say, that the work that Humanity First does cannot be done without you. Every single one of you sitting out there, it cannot be done without you. So we urge you, which doesn't matter how much or how little you guys can contribute. Donating to Humanity First, as you can see, the work that we've been doing goes all the way. For example, one gift of eye is about 250,000 shillings for one gift of sight operation, cataract surgery. For consultations of 10,000. For orphan care, to get free education for a child for a whole year is about 300,000. So these are numbers that anybody can donate, can give, but like I said, it cannot be done without you.
And I would just add to that. So the project itself, yes, there's lots of planning that goes into it, and it's not just limited to those, for example, 3 days actual physical medical camp where we made the arrangement with the local facilities. There is multi-pronged. So, for example, I certainly had a really busy schedule. So the night we arrived on Thursday, daytime, we went straight from Entebbe Airport all the way to Mbale, to Budaka. So there was already like almost a 24-hour journey, which is fine, no problem. The next morning, the camp started. So we had to be there for 9 o'clock. So that's when the camp starts. The next day, we did a talk in the morning, and then the same afternoon, we left. So not a minute is being wasted. And since we've been here, so we came back on Monday. Yesterday, Tuesday, I had a morning meeting with the local Makerere University Dental School. I was able to donate, not in a personal capacity, as Humanity First donated a digital X-ray sensor, which is thousands of British pounds sort of equipment, and it was very gratefully received. So I could see from their expression, they said to me they were speechless. So the point is, again, not to just do things on our equipment, show them how it's done, and then take it back. So it is so that the whole standard is raised. Another thing that we are hoping to work with the dental school for is to have the dental students in the later years to have them on the outreach clinics. So they then leave with those skills. So when they go out into the community, to the slums, to rural areas where outreach is needed, they are going with those extra skills. Another really important thing, which was so impactful during the camp, so I told you this is my second camp. So there were about 262 patients we saw last time. I would say comfortably we gave about 250 patients antibiotics, because that's the way things were done. And I can tell you probably about 2 or 3 of them were necessary. So that was a huge paradigm shift that I had to do. So well before I came, I had actually liaised and did a meeting virtual meeting, that I shared the guidelines with them, universally accepted, that antibiotics in a lot of the situations are necessary, because with dental problems I can speak that once you remove the cause, which is mostly tooth extraction, you don't actually need any medications. So I'm happy to report we saw 280 dental patients, medical camps over 1,000, but 280 patients, guess how many prescriptions we gave? 3. And none of them were for teeth extractions. 2 of them had jaw infection, which you can't treat. Yes, you can. They will need surgical management, and they were referred. One of them was for sinus problem, because it has sinusitis. Not a single one. And they were all proud of that achievement. So that huge paradigm shift. So that's an example of how we can bring sort of modern day skills, knowledge, and guidelines to align the Ugandan sort of clinical practice with the rest of the world. And that's where I feel our little contribution was able to be made. And then just to finish off, so for example, that was my schedule yesterday in the morning. Then in the afternoon, I had a talk at Ahmadiyya School in Wandigea. Over 200 students attended. Again, oral health education. Dr. Hassan very much entertained them. And this morning we're here. And this afternoon we have some other Maya Dental School that are...
Well, so much is happening when you talk about Global Humanity First, and with our visitors, one first time, the other second time, and whenever they're here, they're having health, or call them medical camps, and various areas or programs conducted by Humanity First. Allow me go for this break. When we come back, we'll still be looking at a few issues still regarding Humanity First. We'll get to know how these people have been able and how you can be able. You may not be a medical doctor, but there is a way you can join Humanity First to extend love and humanity to the people. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Have you packed more with Harbour jelly and Harbour fog?
Yes, we packed.
It will protect your skin from skin rashes.
Move it back.
It is a new improved Morbid Harbour jelly, so soft and smooth.
It is a Morbid Harbour jelly.
Tell me, kids, the scent. Any irritations? No more rashes and irritations. Movit Harbour Jelly and Harbour Soap is rich in natural herbs for a smooth and glowing skin.
Movit All Day Confidence. Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial star 165 star 3 hash or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you Tuko Pamoja Ankole segment. Learn about the fabrication of Ankole Kingdom from Nkore, the beautiful village of milk and honey at the detriment of Mpororo states.
Ankole as a kingdom came about in 1901.
Ankole is a colonial fabrication.
And all these small kingdoms were counties of the original Itara.
Ruhinda Ruanjunachi, who was a Mchwezi,
The son of Wamara Rhanja Jojo Rwabwera.
and that's the rulers of Ankole called Bahinda.
Who are the pre-colonial heroes from Ankole?
Is it Rutaraka, Muguta? Is it Intare, Kitabanyoro? Find out from Tuko Pamoja.
Premiering on Wednesday, 28th February at 5 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. at the National Theatre. To get a ticket, call 0778 787 660. Tuko Pamoja?
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for being with us. Now, we are still looking at Global Humanity First, which is a global charity organization that pushes for helping the vulnerable people and extending acts of humanity through their various programs. Now, Dr. Summer, when we were talking about so much that has been achieved, one at the back of their mind, for example, most of these camps, you find that they're performed at, for example, we have Budaka Health Center 4. That's the government. So do you liaise with government? Do you work together with government of Uganda?
100%. I think it's so the planning and the liaison starts well before we arrive. The local team makes contact. Last year we met the medical director at Ministry of Health. He was very accommodating, very welcoming. And it has been sort of, we're working in the background that if we wanted to send more donations, let's say of dental chairs, I know there are a couple waiting, and again we will request with your assistance as well that the ministry helps us facilitate the process and we can get them here. And locally speaking, so for example, we are hoping to have some sort of partnership with the Mbale Regional Hospital. We had a meeting day before yesterday with the medical personnel there, and they are very much interested in, for example, there's a postgraduate program starting in August for one of our consultant gynecologists from the UK to be a guest or a visiting lecturer and basically give training to the postgraduate students. Last year, the camp was run at Ambale Ahmadiyya Hospital. This time we were able to, with the liaison, because that relationship is developing, we were able to hold it in the government facility, which was Budaka Health Center. So that was better in that sense, because then we also involved, certainly for the dental element, the local dental surgeon as well as the local dental officer who was able to join the camp. He also felt fulfilled. So it's not, again, just restricted to Humanity First. Not everyone is going to recognize the Humanity First brand. So not everyone is going to turn up at a Humanity First facility. They're going to come up with, go to the local government hospital or health center, and that's where the same level of treatment and expertise is what we want them to achieve. So there's definitely a lot of work in the background, and it would not be possible without the assistance of Ministry of Health, and we'd encourage and request that that continues and we build up on it so that we can do a lot more.
And Humanity First itself, it doesn't just, help certain type of people. It's any religion, any race, anybody that needs help, regardless of their color, the wealth. Humanity First is for everyone. Humanity is everyone.
Now, Doctor, looking at your experience, we've just had this camp at Budaka Health Center 4. What have been the challenges, and how do you best think this can be addressed?
Absolutely. The challenges that I've seen myself is very similar to the challenges within the UK. The different countries I've traveled, it's very similar challenges. First of all, medical health is expensive, regardless of where you go. Workforce crisis, there's so many, required, medical work that's required, dental work that's required, but we just don't have the skills, the resources available, and the workforce. Similar things that are happening in the UK at the moment. There's not enough doctors within the UK. In fact, personally speaking, in my hospital, nearly about 60% of the nurses that I work with are actually from Uganda. When I told them that I'm coming to Uganda, all of them were excited and were speechless.
It's about 60%.
60% of the, just in my hospital that I work with in the renal department, 60% of them are from Uganda.
Nurses.
Absolutely. So the need, in the UK, there's not enough doctors, not enough nurses. So now they're resulting in other, professionals. So there's something known as a physician associate, paramedics. They're now, stepping up and doing things where they won't usually do. So, for example, normally if somebody at home can't go to hospital, sometimes the GP, the general practitioner, would go to their house and assess them and give them some medications. Nowadays, a lot of the time, it's the paramedics that are now going to the hospital just because the workload can't keep up. So, training, the workforce is important, because that in itself is something that, needs doing. The other kind of challenge that I found was the infrastructure. There's some places where, simple things that can be preventable, like, the smear test for women to prevent cervical cancer, to identify cervical cancer. A lot of the cases, just because of the infrastructure and the capabilities, we're not able to do them. So, put in a lot of investment in the infrastructure, being able to provide these facilities, these investigations, will actually help, identify them early on, and also give a chance to prevent these happening and early on and find an intervention. So I think a lot, of the cases that, we've seen similar to the UK, and it needs more funding, it needs, more funding within the healthcare. And training and education. Within the UK, we have different cycles of regulations and supervision, which is paramount. You're not dealing. This is not a business transaction. These are people's lives. Healthcare is so important because you're dealing with a life. You can't. The life cannot come back again. So it's important that we really, utilize these, and which is why, as you can see, as Dr. Sama said, that within his dental and within the medical and within the medical camp, there was supervision going on, and teaching, the people that are, the healthcare people that are here. Their training is excellent, which is done here. Sometimes there's a bit of miscommunication, or sometimes there's lost in translation. So just rebuilding that, reinforcing the guidelines, reinforcing the supervision really allows them to now use that, because there's no point going back and doing the wrong procedures or doing the wrong information, because it's going to have a negative effect on health. But when they've learned, things from our camp, things from education, we've got gynecology, we've got rheumatology specialists, all of these specialists, a cardiologist, rheumatologist, gynecologists that have, come all the way from the UK, specialists, very specialist care that are coming to empower the workers here, teach them, the up-to-date guidance so that they can practice this guidance, this up-to-date information to provide the best quality healthcare that Uganda, has. Because already it's amazing. And like I said, 60%, more than half, my nurses that I work with are from Uganda. They were telling me where to go. They were telling me, the favorite, the staple dishes that I've tried, and it's amazing. So, the education here is wonderful. It's amazing. It's just about being able to now regulate these. And that's important.
Yes. Well, time seems to be flying, but Dr. Usman, when we talk about Humanity First, we strive on volunteers and donations.
Yes.
A word to our volunteers and, of course, the donors as we try to come to the end of the show.
Yes. So last year, I was able to, from some experience from having raised funds for Humanity First for a project in the Gambia, I was able to do some fundraising. I was able to, specifically for the dental project only, because people who knew me knew the kind of work that we can achieve. Even though I'd never been to Uganda, they were so generous. They donated over £4,000 British pounds in donations, and with their help, I was able to buy an autoclave, which is like a sterilizing machine for instruments. Unfortunately, this is very common, that very basic equipment like pressure cookers were being used, for sterilizing instruments before. And this year, it was all sort of top quality infection control. Last year, even before I came, we'd bought it already, so we used it in the camp from the get-go. So I really want to thank the donors. We do the fundraising in different ways, and without them, nothing would be possible. And those who are here and who are watching, it doesn't matter, even if you're not able to make a financial contribution, spread the word. Follow Humanity First. Everyone has access to internet, most people. Everyone has phones. Follow Humanity First, follow UBC Uganda on your social media channels, promote this message of health. Half of the battle is about awareness. So if that is done, look at the projects, look at the work we've done. I'll give you an example. One gentleman who I asked to translate the local language, he was from the audience, one of the dental patients. He got up, translated. Would you believe he was one of the first to arrive? He stayed with us until 6 o'clock because he got so involved, so enthusiastic, shared the agony, the pain that the people go through, and he knew the type of work Humanity First prides itself in doing. He stayed there, helped to regulate the queues, send patients in. For his own treatment, he actually came the next day. So that's the level of sacrifice that local Ugandans have made, and that's the spirit that I see throughout the country. So even if you can't physically contribute, be there. If you notice Humanity First brand, the camp running in any place, go and support it. Physically, ask them if you can help in any way. In your own homes, even if you can't be in those rural areas where the camps are run, follow, share those stories and those highlights, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, follow those posts and contribute in your own small way. So thank you to everyone, for the donors who were ready, and thank you to the viewers for listening, putting up with us, and for future collaborations and support that you will be giving us.
Absolutely.
Yes, Dr. Isen.
Yes, and allow me to reach out to all the healthcare healthcare's facilities out there. If you guys feel like there's a need for something in your area, or improving the the healthcare there, getting a, if you would like to, increase, the training and education, reach out to the Humanity First. There's an email address on the screen. Reach out to us. We're able to, find these collaborations. We're willing to work together. It's just a required, to try and reach out to everyone. And like Dr. Osama Saab said, that of course reaching out, spreading the word is important. And like I said, Humanity First and the work that we carry out cannot be done without you. Every single one of you. If it's a small amount, any amount that you can donate, the donations, the account numbers will be on the screen. Dig deep. Anything that you can do, because you know that the work that we're doing is going directly to the people that need it in Uganda. And that is why we want to help you. So help us, help everyone in Uganda.
Well, I just want to thank you so much, my guest this morning from Global Humanity First. This is a charity organization that relies on volunteers and donors to extend a hand to the needy in a number of countries. So why not you be part of this noble cause? Most of the times I tell people that there is nothing that will give you contentment like helping someone in need. Because you all know there is a big reward in the life after, but also blessings. Certain things work your way when you help work ways for others. Have a lovely day. See you tomorrow, God willing, for God and my country. Good morning.
Live from